everyone. I hope I'm audible enough. Um,
Yes, Michael, you're audible.
Perfect. I should share my screen just to confirm whether my screen is up.
Yes, it is visible.
Perfect. My name is Michael, and glad to be here and glad to meet whoever I've not met physically. And I'm going to take us through Wikidata, and we shall use like 5 or 6 minutes to talk about it. Then we shall use the rest of the minutes to create one sample item on Wikidata. So basically, Wikidata is a multilingual database of structured data, and this supports multi so many languages. In Uganda, I think we have only one, that's English, but you are able to link in some other languages. For example, if a subject you're writing about has an article on English, the English Wikipedia, or Uganda, or any other language Wikipedia, you can link all those articles onto an item that you created. So Wikidata, basically, you can use it to, as you know, we have so many Wikimedia projects, and Wikidata can be linked or interlinked with other Wikimedia projects like Wikipedia and Wikicommons, where you can link the language Wikipedias onto the item you've created, and also you can pick the media files from Commons and link them to this item that you've created. Structured data basically means these are like short kinds of data. They're just like statements that talk about the subject you're writing about. And for biographies, it's basically mentions maybe about their their sex, mention about where they were born in, mention about those short statements about a subject matter, which is not the case with Wikipedia, which calls in for details about the statements you're writing about. As I mentioned, that you can integrate these three into like all these ones can have a way of interplaying with each other. So you can connect a Wikidata item onto a Wikipedia article. You can connect a Wikidata item onto a Wikicommons multimedia file. You can also connect a multimedia file into a Wikidata item. So there is that kind of interconnection, and you already know that you can also interconnect the um, the multimedia files onto Wikipedia articles. So the structured databases of all notable concepts, that's for Wikidata, and languages independent. So it's a collection or a database of these metadatas that talk about the subject matter you're talking about. Also, linked to open data and supports a comprehensive catalog of contributions. So you can link Wikidata, for example, us who contribute to OpenStreetMap. There is a whole also we link features mapped on OpenStreetMap onto Wikidata, so that a person can, for example, a building in Makerere or a prominent feature that is mapped out like a monument, you can geotarget and also link the Wikipedia and Wikidata items on OpenStreetMap. So that whoever might want to read more about um, that feature can go and do some further reading on those other platforms. So these are factual claims and are stored in three part statements in Wikidata. One is subject, then the predict and object. We shall see what these are. And then we have item, property, and value. Also, we have a thing, a relation, then a thing. So these ones are majorly statements. For example, if we talk about sex, we have now. If I, for example, this last one, we have an item, and then property, then value. Our item can be the subject, then the property can be like as you see, sex, and then the value can be male or female. Yeah, and also for a thing, relation thing can be the item, this particular item or subject, and then we can have another relation like their place of employment, and then we can have another thing like when they were there. Yeah, so those are interconnections of statements that bring factual claims onto the subject that we are writing about. um for example, this is an example of the independence hall, in which is a legislative building where the United States Declaration of Independence and Constitution were debated and adopted. So we have um, the unstructured phrase and then the structured phrase, which is independence hall instance of, and it's an instance of a legislative building. Then we have another statement which is country, which is, and then the value to that. So when you look at this example, we have um, we have we have two things. We have the item, the property, and the value, and then we have the subject. No, the thing, relation, and then a thing. Now, what I mean there is we have our item, and then we have our relation, which is the instance of, and then the value, which is the legislative building. We shall see how all that interplays. And then also what we should know is that um, unlike Wikipedia, for Wikidata, each item that is created is assigned a unique identifier. The unique identifier is basically a value that makes this particular item unique, yeah, from the rest of the items on wiki data. For Wikipedia, we can have people having similar names, which is okay. It can be different people but with the same name. But here it can be different people with the same name, but these different people cannot have the same Q code, which is the unique identifier for that item. And you find that sometimes people can create different Wikidata items for the same subject, and when that happens, these two have to be merged. And what happens is that the data for the former, or the data for the latter, is added into the former item, and then we will have one merged item um, of the subject we are writing about. So without any further ado, let me go to Wikidata, and we see the how the creation is done. So we go to wikidata.org, just like any other Wikimedia project. So you go to wikidata.org here. Once you get here, you will I will first log out. Here, remember they told you, the previous presenters, that once you have an account opened up, it will give you access to all the Wikimedia projects. So you don't need to really create a a separate account for all the projects you'll be working on. So here you just click on login since we already have an account, and then here I will just click keep me in, and I log in here. So once you log,
Michael,
yes.
we are still seeing your slides screen. I don't know whether
Oh,
you.
okay.
I think you share the entire screen.
I should share the entire screen. Let me share the entire screen, I guess. Is that now okay?
Not yet made.
Okay, let me
Yeah, it is
stop
showing
there and
introduction.
then reshare.
Okay.
Okay. Share. How about there?
I'm still seeing your. Yeah, now it is visible.
Perfect.
Seeing the screen for Wikidata.
Perfect. So what I was saying is that here I will log out, and I will log back in. As you can see, they mentioned to you that you don't need really to open up an account for each project you'll be working on. So we shall use our very old account that we created. So here you can see on this is the home interface, where you get some news about some specific items. They welcome you here, ask you to learn about the data, tell you to get involved. Current highlights, there are highlights here, the news. So it's basically like you see the home interface, so Wikipedia. And then on this side, we have the different options. Um, there also we have other different options at the top here, which these ones cut across on all projects, the notification. So you'll see them. Plus here you can have a list of your the pages you're monitoring or your favorite pages you're following. Yeah. So after logging in, you will scroll to the side here, and you can see the different options here. And now we want to create an item. Okay. So how to create an item? It's simple. You can create the item from here. As you can see, we have main page, we have community portal, we have project chat, then we have create a new item. Okay. Is one lady who was of recently a nominee for nominee for um, human rights human rights human rights defenders in Uganda by European Union. So let's see those people here. The first one is Dr. Spire Sentongo. That one I wrote his article, and he has a Wikidata. And the second one is Jessica Ruth Ata. It's this lady that I'm going to create an item for. I realize she doesn't have. So I'll copy that, come and search here. And as you search, you're told that there is nothing. When you click on search here, you'll see that there is nothing that really talks about this person, yeah, in the main and in the property. So that means there is nothing, no item that was created for this particular person. So what we are going to do there is, the beauty is once you search and the item doesn't exist, you'll be asked to create. But if you know that the item doesn't exist, then you can create it from the the create item here. So you click on create item, and then once you click on create item, you'll be brought to this page where they will ask you the language in which you're creating the item. So I'm creating it in English, and then I'll put the label. The label is the title for that item that I want to create. So the title for this item is going to be called Jessica Ruth Atta. And the beauty with Wikidata is that it's robust. So when you want to change for example, the item name or the title link, you can do that with ease, unlike Wikipedia where you have to go into a process of um, um, renaming and redirecting. So when we read a little about her, she's a human rights defender from Kotido, Karamoja. She leads Nakere Rural Women Activists, an umbrella community-based organization for women's groups. NAOA represents response to humanitarian crisis and addresses cross-border and inter-ethnic political instability, the rise of warlords, domestic violence, the discrimination of women in society. NAOA has reached over 15,000 and women and 250,000 children through programs aimed at appropriate and viable income generating activities. So that means we can say a Ugandan human rights defender or activist. But EU called her defender, so we can call her defender, no problem. So if she has any aliases, for example, if she's also called Jessica Ruth, or if she's also called Atta Ruth, we put all that here. Okay, so that but since we don't know any other aliases she's known of, so we shall just create our item here. So once we hit that create item, our item will be created. As you can see, it has been created, but you realize that it has no information in it yet. The only statement we have is that she's a Ugandan human rights defender, and you can see that she has already been assigned a Q code. This Q code is unique to her. If we copy it and search it here in our search, it's the only one we shall find. Okay, but if we paste same thing, if we paste the name, we shall also come to the same item. But if we paste the name and we realize that there are two of them talking about the same person, then we have to merge them. So here we can proceed, and as you can see, we have statements here, and in the statements we are going to add those statements. Okay, and the beauty here with Wikidata is that it tells you what you have to do next in your statements. So here you click on add statement, and then you'll be asked to add the first statement, and we are adding a statement instance of, and once we click on instance of, we shall have a list: instance of human settlement, instance of painting, instance of village, and blah blah blah. So this is a human, so we add that and publish. Okay, you see that? So that's one statement that has been added. So Jessica Ruth Atta is a human being. So we click on add statement, and we are given suggestions of what we should mention next, which is sex or gender. So we click on that and say she's female, and select that and publish. Okay, so you see how our items is being really developed with the new statements. Occupation, she's a human rights defender. You see, so here we have human rights activist, a person who acts to protect human rights. Yeah, we have so many other human rights. Yeah, so we have Human Rights Defender Center, which is an organization. We have Human Rights Defender and Promoter. We have Human Rights Defenders protecting the rights to defend, which is the OHCHR on Human Rights Defender. So we are going to go with this one. So if there is any other activity or occupation she's known of, we can list those under that same category. So here we shall proceed. So we have three statements. So we want to add in something that talks about the references. Yeah, with Wikidata, references are not really so much as long as the statements you're writing are factual. But if you can find references for them, please, you have to add them. So now, like here, we see that she's mentioned as a she, and she's also called a human rights defender. So this acts as our reference. We copy that. We come on to gender here, and we add a reference. So we just type reference, and we add reference URL and paste our link there and publish. Yeah. So we will see one reference added. We can add the same reference here because it's that same reference that talks about this as well. So we paste that also here and we proceed. So here we continue and see which other statements we can find for her. Her given name is Ruth. She has two. She has Ruth and Jessica. So we can copy both of them and paste one at a time here in the given name. She's Jessica, which is a given name. We add that and publish, but she's also called Ruth. So we paste and remove Ruth. I mean remove Jessica, female given name, and we publish. So she has two given names. So we proceed and add the date of birth. So for the date of birth, it was not mentioned in here, but we can do some search as well. So we come here into our Google and search for Jessica Ruth Atta biography, if we can find it. Biography, and biography, they will give us a lot, so we can say date of birth. We start from there, and it seems we can't find anything to do with her date of birth. Yeah, it seems there is nothing that talks about her date of birth, so we can leave that out. So we can just proceed with her biography. Here is some information to do with her biography. Here, let's see if there is anything we can find about her. Kotido district. So let's see if there is a mention of her on this page, and nothing much here. Let's see. There is nothing much about her biography, so she might not be notable for Wikipedia for now, but we proceed with the country of citizenship, which is Uganda. But there are so many Ugandas. Uganda is a country in East Africa, former British protectorate. We have a genus of insects called Uganda. but we want Uganda, this one. Yeah, Uganda with capital U, this one. And we proceed. We publish and proceed. We have family name, which is Ata. If it is there is Ata, a place in Denmark. We can't find Ata as a family name. So we have a place of birth. We can take her place of birth to be Kotido, Kotido district. So we say Kotido, Kotido district, and publish. What else can we find? Languages spoken. She speaks English. Yeah, and she speaks Karamajong. Karamajong, if it's a language anyway. Kara. I can't find it. Oh, it's here. So those are the two languages we find. What else can we find? We don't know where she was educated from. We don't know any other information about her for now. So that's all we can get for her. Let's just check a little more and see if there's any other more information we can get about her. She's here. So this lady is actually notable for a Wikipedia article. So anyone can write about her. Yeah. So she's here. Is doing Ata is the head of Naka. Okay. The group takes the name from a tree where women used to gather and blah blah blah. This really doesn't talk about anything to do with her as a person, a biography. So I think that's all the information we can find for her. So if you find that she has a Wikipedia article, you just come here and mention which Wikipedia language Wikipedia she's found in. Then you put that en and then you paste the name of that page here. It will be automatically picked and then you will click on publish. So that will link the Wikipedia article with the Wikidata item and vice versa. So if she has maybe a photo on Wikcommons, so you just type in here image, and then you pick the image name that is on Commons and paste it here. Once you paste, you publish, and you'll be able to have our image added. So basically, that's how to create Wikidata items, and it applies to all other items you might need to create for places, for monuments, and the rest. But that's the simple one, basically for the preview for biography. I think that's it. Unless there are questions, I will stop that there and hand it back to Brian.